Hey, what's up everyone? It's Dave from Dave Craves Raw Food, and it's 420, guys! What's up? So today I want to talk about how I now pass instead of puff puff, So 420 is the day that you celebrate smoking weed. It's the best time to get high, you know what I mean? I don't know how it got started. I'm guessing some kids one day in California or somewhere where something was going to become popular. Trendy area, you know what I mean? They must have went and got off of school or something and then smoked and realized it was 420, and then maybe they were smoking every day and then they realized, like, whoa, we smoke at 420 every day. 420 is the time to get high, I don't know, maybe there's a better story than that, but that's what I think happened. So this is the first 420 that I'm not smoking weed. And it's been 9 years that I think every time that I have had a 420, since I was 19, I smoked, because that's what you do, you know what I mean? You get high, you get blazed, and some days or some years it was like an all-day thing, or I would go to like an event and it would be like a whole thing around smoking. So I don't do that anymore, and I just quit smoking 2017. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's not like when I quit back in, what was it, like August, September, that I never did it again. It wasn't like I quit and just never went back to it. So I went back to it a couple times and I just didn't enjoy it as much. And I want to just talk about some of the things that have changed and my kind of outlook on it now that I am no longer a stoner. So first thing, smoking anything is bad for you. I don't care what someone says about the benefits of cannabis. Cannabis does have many, many benefits, especially the CBD compound in it, and CBD oil is becoming a lot more popular these days, and I think it is something that we should definitely embrace as a culture and use its healing benefits, especially for people that have certain conditions that has been proven in clinical trials to help with. I can't think of exactly the ones right now. I know MS is one of them, but smoking the substance, it really, in my opinion, like, the medical reasons for smoking don't make any sense. Most of the people who are on medical marijuana literally just want to get high. Like when I was when I was in maybe I did smoke. No, when I was in Colorado, I had my medical card before it was legal there. And yeah, dude, I didn't have any problems. I told them that I broke my foot and I had chronic pain, and the doctor's like, write you off. So yeah, so we'll be kidding ourselves if we think a lot of the patients that use it for smoking aren't just using it as a legal way to get high, because, come on guys, be honest, that's what it is. So smoking it in general isn't the healthiest thing to do. Smoking cigarettes is definitely worse, but any smoke that you ingest into your lungs is a carcinogen, and a carcinogen is something that has been proven to be cancer causing or highly correlated with causing cancers, like arsenic and stuff like that. Plutonium, weird stuff that you don't want to ingest, because it will definitely hurt you. And that is the first thing that I have noticed. Like, my breathing is way better. I had lung issues growing up, so I mean, smoking anything probably wasn't, and I was one of those guys that when I would hit a bong or something, I would cough forever, you know what I mean? Like, it would just really get to me compared to my friends. So I always kind of knew that smoking like that wasn't good, so I tried vaping and all this stuff, and still I would still cough if I took in too much. And the point of smoking is to get high, so you want to take big hits and all that good stuff. So definitely a good benefit I felt with my cardio increase, like just in general, like I just felt better breathing wise in my lungs, and when I would go for runs and stuff like that. And so yeah, the second thing is it is a mind altering substance. So when you get used to it and you're smoking every day, you don't really notice the days that you're in. And I'm not saying that you can't be productive or you can't have a lot of positive influence on the world and be a productive part of society, even though society these days, being productive part of that, it's not really what I want. I don't want to contribute to that. So I'm not saying you need to go to your job and work a 9 to 5, and if you smoke weed, you're not going to do that. I'll get to the benefit about this too, but what I realized is after I stopped smoking, I would wake up in the morning and I'd feel a lot more energy. I'd feel like a mental clarity that I didn't even know was possible because I was smoking all the time. So I never really felt that. And then when the days that I would go back to there's bugs out here. The days that I would go back to smoking, I would wake up the next day and I would feel foggy headed and I would feel low energy, and it would take me like 2 or 3 hours to snap out of it. So yeah, so it was kind of hard for me to wake up on the days that I would smoke. And then after not smoking for a while, definitely feel a lot different when I'm in the morning. I feel less groggy. I feel ready to take on the day. But when I first quit, I felt more tired for about 2 weeks. It took me to rebalance my hormones, my dopamine, my serotonin. My joy of life was kind of diminished for a little bit, but after that was over, I feel better than I've ever felt. And I'll just tie that into without smoking, I have less anxiety and I have more sense of peace inside. I don't feel like I need something to escape, and I know not everyone smokes for that reason, but I know a lot of people who smoke heavy don't drink as much. And we're all using these crutches to escape the society that I was talking about earlier. So it is something that can be helpful and useful at a time when you just don't have anything else to lean on, and you just really can't deal with your life. And that being said, that's not the healthiest route to go. There's always someone you can talk to, and there's always more healthy ways, like exercise, yoga, positive thinking, just like little tips and tricks you can do to get yourself out of that negative mindset, rather than just smoking and like feeling better for the time that you're high and then needing to smoke more just to get back to that point. So it's an endless cycle of anxiety and depression. And I know not everyone has this, but I know a lot of people have it and they don't really realize it. Maybe you're hearing this video and you're realizing it, because man, I'm telling you, I smoked weed for 9 years. I labeled myself as a pot smoker. I actually liked it because I would meet someone who was also a pot smoker, and you instantly get along. Oh, let's hang out, let's go smoke a bowl, and then you could like make a new friend. You go to their house, they go to your house, share some bud, and talk about life and conspiracies and the universe and all that cool stuff. And then you find people that are like-minded through that route. So yes, there is some people that it doesn't cause anxiety, doesn't cause depression. And I also didn't think that it caused that for me until I quit, and then I realized how much more peaceful and less anxious and less depressed I felt after quitting. So if you haven't ever tried it, just go for a month and just see if it makes a difference. And I just think that a lot of people don't really realize that. So I noticed that I'm a lot more peaceful now. And like less stressful. So one of the positive things about it being a mind-altering substance, though, I would have to say is that especially when we live in this really kind of confined minded world where you have to look a certain way, speak a certain way, act a certain way to be accepted, when you first start getting high, you start breaking those walls down. You start seeing things for what they really are and not this like illusion that we have. So you can break through the illusion and you can see life, and you can see the bigger picture, and things aren't so rigid. And I think, I don't want to say everyone should do it, but I really find the people who have done it and have quit still have that kind of mindset. And I think it's a beautiful thing that we can use this tool. But the thing is, people overdo it. And especially these days, it's becoming popular, it's becoming more legal. And people are just embracing it in such a party way, and such like a, I don't know, to me it's becoming a negative, because people aren't using it sparingly, they're using it, too much. And that's what I was doing. I was using it too much. And every now and then, if you wanted to do it once a month or every couple months, that's fine. But the thing is you don't want to create a habit out of it. So one of the other benefits I felt was I had a habit of it. Like, I couldn't sleep without it. I couldn't, relax at night without it. And it actually put a lot of stress on myself, because, the days that I wouldn't have weed would suck. And when you're a pot smoker, you don't really think about that being such a big deal. But think about if you were an alcoholic and, you didn't have your liquor. And I know alcohol is a lot worse for your body than weed, but I'm just talking about the way the brain works. And yeah, that's not a healthy thing to be doing, is to be needing that substance just so you can feel normal or have like a good night's sleep. And it's just, in my opinion, not the best way to do it. So when I quit, I actually was getting cold sweats. I couldn't sleep like for 3 or 4 days. I'd wake up in the middle of the night. Everyone knows if you've tried to quit, you get crazy dreams. Some of them are nightmares. I think it's a lot of the emotions that you have suppressed over the years of smoking. Something uncomfortable comes up, and what do? You just grab your bowl, grab your bong, grab a joint, grab a blunt, and you forget about it, and you never deal with it. So, dealt with a lot of stuff. So, emotionally, I feel a lot more balanced now that I don't smoke, and I feel like I'm not running. I was constantly running from something, just running, and it's like, you can't hide from yourself, man. Like, even when you're high, sometimes I'd get high, and for the first half an hour, I'd get such bad anxiety because it would actually make me focus on those things that I was trying to escape even more until it kind of calmed down, and then I was able to chill out. But yeah, so many benefits, guys. I'm trying to think of another one for you. Saving money, saving so much more money. Like, I was spending at one point, at least $80 a week, because every 3 days I would smoke about an eighth, $40 an eighth. Sometimes I get it cheaper, but I mean, in general, that's quite a bit of money. That's what is that, 160? It's like $320 or something like that a month, just on my little pot habit that I had. So yeah, that has saved me a lot of money. It's crazy to think about, actually, how much money I could have saved if I never would have smoked. But yeah, so just in general, I just feel better. I feel like I have more of like a glow about me. Not very subtly. It's only maybe I can notice it, but it's more like my eyes just seem brighter. I just seem like I'm more there. I'm more present. And I'm less of a zombie. And I'm not speaking negatively about people who smoke. It's just like your personality becomes that, and until you quit for a while, you realize like, oh wow, I'm actually more outgoing, or I'm more this and that. And sometimes people get more outgoing when they smoke, but a lot of times the people who have a problem with it are the personality types like me, and you smoke and you get really introverted and you don't want to do the things that you actually enjoy, which is a sign of depression, when you're not wanting to do things you enjoy as much. Or if I wanted to go out with some friends, if they invited me out, sometimes I would smoke, and then before I smoked, I would want to go out, and then I would smoke, and I'd be like, no, I want to just stay in and just, yeah, I'm not gonna go. You know what I mean? It's just like you don't wanna be around people. So yeah, there's definitely something else I wanted to say, but the video is getting kind of long. So overall, this is the best thing I could have ever done, the best choice I could have ever made, and I don't think I'll ever go back to regularly smoking, ever. And I'm very proud of myself that this is my first 420 that I'm not smoking. And it is a big deal for me, and it might not seem like it because it's like, oh, you just smoke weed, but it was a big crutch for me, and it was something that I've been trying to get over. I remember like 5 or 6 years ago, I decided that weed wasn't for me, and it took me this long. So, people who say it's not addicting, it might not have the same physical addictions where you're going to get sick, like alcohol or harder drugs, but it's mentally addicting and psychologically addicting to the point where you feel like you need it, and you feel like you're not yourself without it, but honestly, you're more yourself without it. I'm more myself without it, and I just feel like not smoking is the best thing that I have ever done. So, that being said, if you guys have any experiences, if you quit, if you are smoking right now watching this, if you're high as can be, that's cool, man. I support you. I love you. I just hope that you love me and my choice to not do it. And yeah, I think that's it. one thing that really helped me get over smoking, if you want to try to quit, is I started taking things to increase my serotonin and dopamine. So there's this stuff called SAM-E. It's a natural supplement. Your body produces it, but a lot of times when you smoke, your levels get lower. Also, just people with depression in general, their levels get lower in their body, and you need to raise up those levels to feel normal. L-tryptophan raises serotonin, and L-theanine raises dopamine. I might have mixed those around, but so if you take those before bed, then like serving size of each, 3 of those before bed, you usually can sleep better without needing to smoke, and you usually will sleep through the night and you won't wake up with cold sweats if that's something that you've had problems with when you're trying to quit. Eating a lot of fruits and vegetables will definitely help you. It will also raise up all those levels that you need, because your brain is just so used to this dopamine rush and serotonin rush that you get when you smoke that when its levels get depleted when you're not doing it, so your body has to rebalance itself. So taking these things and juicing fruits and vegetables and all that stuff will definitely help you rebalance your chemistry in your brain, and it won't be such a task to try to quit. So yeah, guys, I mean, I just love it. I love being sober. I think being sober, I mean, if you can be happy and sober, I think you're a really, really strong person. And I always, wanted to be that, and I was just always holding myself back. And the thing is, we make a lot of excuses for why we do things, and there's always a reason, but there's always a better reason to not do something that is negative. There's always a better reason to make a change for the positive when you know in your heart it's what you want to do, but you just keep going around it and making excuses. Like, once you do what you know you want to do, the weight just lifts and you just feel like you can breathe. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more videos about health, nutrition, juicing,